Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and our 13 games of Halloween. Today we are going to be, continuing our Folklore the Affliction campaign. Technically we set up the characters, and which is technically step 1 in the rule book of chapter 1 here of the introductory scenario. So we are now essentially going to begin where it tells us to pick up. It's interesting, the rule book only has you read like the first 8 pages, which is essentially covering how to read the cards and what the symbols mean, and then it says go ahead and dive into the story journal because it's basically a tutorial scenario. I would love to hear from you as to whether you prefer this style of introducing someone to a game or whether you prefer to read the whole rule book. I tend to like to read the whole rule book in advance, and I found it very difficult to just stop myself from reading the whole rule book, but I didn't want to spoil anything that the rule book might have given me, so I am playing by the rules. I stopped when I was told to stop, and we're going to go ahead and dive into the story journal here, but I'd love to know what people's thoughts are on the topic. Do you prefer to have a very light rulebook to read and then learn through tutorial missions, or would you rather read the whole rulebook and not have tutorial missions, which can be very slow, a lot of times very hand-holdy in order to learn the game? But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Just real quick overview. If you did not see our character creation video, we are playing with the Arcanist as a seeker. Arcanist as a seeker, the Witch Hunter as the bounty hunter, and the Archaeologist as the scholar. So those are the focuses that we chose. Essentially we covered all of their cards and stuff in that introductory scenario. So let's open up the story journal here, and you can see story 1, everything changes, and dusk represents the skill level or the difficulty level. So it's telling us this is basically an easy scenario. There are some times where you can play either on dusk or some of the, I don't remember what all the difficulty levels are, but say for example if you're carrying over characters from one story to the next, you would play on a harder difficulty, but if you're starting over fresh with new characters, then you would want to play on dusk. Church of the Crossroads, you can see, is where we are starting. So this is where the lone Meeple in the game. This is our little group mover starting here in the Church of the Crossroads, and this is going to take us supposedly about 90 minutes. I'm wondering if a lot of that is built into all the reading that I'm about to do. I'm not going to punish you guys to sit here and stare at the camera while I read, so hopefully this video will take less than 90 minutes. But essentially this first section here covers what we already did in the first video. So let's jump right ahead to the flavor text, the arrival. You have traveled far, entering a territory of mountains and hills, forests and ancient paths. As you near your destination, an oppressive veil descends as the sky becomes dim. The stagecoach you hired approaches an old stone building with a belfry and enormous arched wooden front doors, whose scrollwork tells tales of horror and redemption. The coach rolls to a stop, and you exit to stand before the Church of the Crossroads. The church is an age-old monument and gateway to this ancient mountainous territory. As you near the wooden doors to head inside, you hear the sounds of a struggle from within. Entering the church, you see an old curator cowering at the hands of the highwaymen. The highwaymen are ragged and filthy, with the dangerous edge of desperate. They demand food and valuables. Okay, so at this point, I am going to read page 12, how to do a skill check. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing here, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so at this point, we need to, as it says right here, someone in the group has to pass a Speech 8 skill test on a D10, which there are several D10s, but it's easy to just grab the red die. Anytime you're doing a skill check, grab the red die. So if we look over here, nobody has any bonuses in speech. That would be your keywords here. I believe you can gain some of those keywords, but right now everybody looking across my sheets has a base of 0. So basically I have to roll an 8, 9, or 10, 10 being a 0, or I'm going to fail. And I rolled a 6. For a second that was a 9. Okay, so we come over here, success or failure. Skirmish with the highwaymen. After the skirmish, assailants break and run. Okay, so we're going to jump over here to the Skirmish Rules. I'm going to get this book out of the way and we'll cover how to do a skirmish. Okay, so I think I have this figured out here. We're going to bring our dice tray over here. So this is the Highwaymen skirmish card and Highwaymen encounter card. So if you were playing a full encounter, excuse me, you would play on this side. You can see it has the miniatures. You would find that miniature if you have it. If not, there's a token probably. Yeah, for example, I do not have this miniature in my set, so there's probably a token over there. But we're not going to use this side because we are simply doing an encounter. An encounter is a skirmish, I'm sorry. A skirmish is a much faster battle. You don't, a lot of times, a lot of your powers aren't usable during skirmishes, but for example here, the Witch Hunter says, tracker ability, you have superior skill at routing your enemies. Reroll a missed range attack or recover 1 ammo usable during a skirmish. So from what I understand, though, I'm not worried about my weapons per se, because for example, the whip here would immobilize a target, but we're not moving around a board or anything. So I'm simply trying to roll to beat his defense, which is 42. I'm going to get 4 coins. If I defeat the highwayman, we're playing on dusk, so there's no modifier. He's not getting any additional might modifiers. And so we're going to go ahead and move forward here. Now, the first thing we have to do is determine the power of this skirmisher, the power of the highwaymen in this moment. So we look on this sheet here and you can see character count. So 2, 3, 4, or 5. We are playing with 3, so we're going to roll a d6, and it's a 1. Perfect. That's actually really nice. So the lower the number, the better. So obviously you're never going to get up into 7 or 8 unless you're playing with 5 players. This also represents now the highwayman's health. So I actually only have to hit the highwayman 1 time to get him to run away. So perfect roll as far as this was concerned. If I had rolled a 6, I would have been over here and he would have been getting +5 might, +5 defense, and I would have had to hit him 6 times. But as he moved here, you would see he would lose his defense bonus and then no modifiers, and now he actually has a negative bonus, I guess, because we caught him by surprise. So at this point, we now have to decide whether we are going to kind of play defensively or offensively. And I really like this approach for the skirmishes because you can definitely defend up if you are low on health and just get caught off guard with a skirmish, because there's no like staying back. You can't hide your miniatures, you can't put a tank out in front of you. Everybody is vulnerable to this skirmish attack. So since it's early on and I don't want to start off by taking a lot of damage, we are all going to go into defense mode. So you see we all have these tokens, and I'm flipping each player's over to the defense side. Now what that does is it gives us +10 defense, but it gives us -10 might. So since we're in defense mode, we've kind of hunkered back behind our shields or whatever, prepared for the attack. We're not as ready to defend. So we might be more likely to miss the highwaymen, but since we only have to hit him once, I only need one of these characters to roll basically a 52 on their percentile dice here. Okay, so now that we've done that, the highwayman gets to attack first. So when you are attacking, we're going to roll these 2 d10s, and you can see these are different. This isn't the red one, even though I could use the red one, but one of these is a normal d10, and this one is a 10s d10. You can see it jumps 20, 80, 40. It basically is showing things in the 10s. So when you combine these 2 together, put them side by side, you get a percentile, a number between 1 and 100. So for example, 00 normally is like the singles digits, so that would be a 1. This would be a 9. this would be a 99. For the most part, they're very straightforward. The only thing that throws people sometimes is if you roll all zeros, because there is no zero. You can't get a 0 in the percentile dice. There's no 0%. That is a 100. So to get a perfect 100, you actually roll all zeros. That can be a little confusing for people, but that's how it's going to go. So each one of us has a defense value here, 37, 38, and 36. But each one of us now has plus 10 defense. So we're looking for these dice to be less than, what's our lowest number here? 46. So we're hoping for a roll of 46 or less, then we know he's missed everybody. All right, and he did it. See, he only rolled a 33. So that actually would have been fine. None of us would have gotten hit, but there's no way for me to know that. We fell into defensive mode, and it didn't matter anyway. So he misses all of us. Nobody has to roll for damage. If we did, we would look up here to the skirmish power, and technically you can see this gentleman here has -1 damage and -5 might. So technically that 33 is actually 28. But I didn't even need to do that math. But you can look up here. His skirmish power would be lose 1 D4 in Vita. So that's why I had this D4 out. We would have rolled that. And this one, I'm not a huge fan of the way this D4 is set up. I might replace these. You look at the number that when it's laying flat, the only number that's upright. So in this case, it would be a 1. If it landed like this, it would be a 2. My fat fingers are in the way. But since he didn't hit us at all, we don't have to roll for damage. Also, you can see here if he had rolled at 85 or better, he would be doing +2 damage. So you would take the D4 roll and then add 2 to it, and we'd take that much damage. But since we don't have to worry about that, we just get to go ahead and make all of our attack rolls. Now his attack is, he has a defense of 42, but like we noted before, we each have -10 might. So we actually kind of have to roll a 52, but we each have a might bonus, +3 here, +4 here, +3 here. So that's going to mean we're really having to roll, we'll do the math. So we're going to start with the Arcanist, then the Witch Hunter, then the Archaeologist here. All right, and right off the bat, the, whoops, that was a 70. Our Arcanist was not playing around. She does not appreciate these highwaymen attacking the clergymen. So she rolls a 74. The -10 makes it a 64, but then she gets a +3 bonus. So taking that back up to a 67, which is definitely higher than his defense. You know, we could sit here and roll like this all day. That's a 59. That's also doing it. And let's see if the Archaeologist, no, the Archaeologist swung and missed with his whip with only an 8. You can't go in the negative, but he kind of did. But we hit him once, so this comes off. And yeah, we have successfully defeated the highwaymen. So I'm going to drop that back in there. All of our many dice we can kind of keep them here, I guess. Put those off to the side. And now we get 4 coins. Each character receives 4 coins. So I'm thinking that I keep track of that on my board somehow. 'Cause there's not coins over here. So yeah, I have to figure that out. Starting abilities, ability points, companions, consumable items, heirlooms, mystic prayers, parts, rituals. Yeah. Oh, coins. Way down here in the lower left. All right. So let me clean up some of this. Write down 4, and we'll come right back. Okay. So as we turn the page here, we have this chapter skirmish table, which I know from watching other and reading the rule book, that essentially normally if you run into and it tells you you have a skirmish, you roll a d10 and you would do whichever one here. I believe that they wanted us to do the highwaymen, but you know, they're assuming we would have rolled a 5, 6, or 7 on the skirmish table. But I think we need to refer back to this if at any point during the rest of this chapter, chapter 1, if we approach a skirmish. So let's just continue reading here. The curator thanks you for driving the brigands away and for saving the church from being burglarized. He explains that this area has begun to attract an unsavory element, but that there are calamities far worse to the north. He says the priest received this a few days ago. He left immediately to investigate without warning. He lifts a covering from a table, revealing a bloody mass of fur and flesh. Alright, we have to do a story skill check, nerve 4. So let's see here. We've got nerve plus 2, so the witch hunter is going to roll for our skill check. We basically need to get a 2 or higher, and we got a 4. Plus 2 would be a 6, so we passed. Success. You steady yourself against the revolting sight. You become centered and recover 1 vita. Now, we're already at full health, so there's nothing we can do there. After recovering from the shock of such a disgusting sight, you examine it more closely. It seems unnatural. The curator explains, wolves have been seen devouring people in the north. A group of Ostelink hunters tracked this one down, but no matter how many arrows and spear tips pierced its flesh, it would not stop moving. They brought it to the alchemist first, believing it was bewitched by some evil curse. Its form shifted and changed periodically in startling phases. It only stopped after that stone was removed from its stomach. He points to a small pebble encased in glass on a pedestal near the table. Neither the priest nor alchemist know what it is, but they fear it is related to the source of the trouble in the north. Go to Ostelink to seek out the missing priest and inquire of the people where they found this creature. It is of dire importance that you find the wolf beast's lair. Here are a few coins to help you with your journey. You are welcome to rummage through our cellar and see if you can find something useful to take with you. Return with news when you have found our priest. Alright, so each character receives 1 coin from the curator. Draw 2 item cards to find out what you've discovered in the church's cellar. It's up to you to decide which characters receive the items. You cannot decide. If you cannot decide, use a dice to roll off. So we each now have 5 coins. All right, and we get to draw 2 items from our item deck here, and obviously I didn't do a very good job of shuffling, so we have 2 things of wood. Consumables, used when the group rests to skip rolling for a skirmish or off-road event. Okay, so sure, we'll give the witch hunter some wood and the archaeologist some wood. Why not? Alright, outside you board the waiting stagecoach, which hastens your journey to the village of Ostelink. World map. Travel to Ostelink. All characters gain +1 stride on their journey due to the stagecoach. Okay. Leadership should now switch to character 2 since you are transitioning from narrative to the world map. Pass the leader token to them with the day side showing up. When character 2 passes the token to the next character, they flip it to the night side. Alright, and so then there's this, says to read the world map movement section on page 16. Okay, so essentially what we need to do now is travel along the road up past Eurotrusk all the way up here to Ostelink. Now, you can see that the road is divided up into sections. Each one of these sections we can move across based on our stride value, which all of us have a stride value of 4, +1 because of the stagecoach. So we can each move 5 at a time. Anytime we end our movement on the road, we draw a card, whether we have road event or off-road event. I know you guys can't see those, but they're up there. Off-road means that we have stepped off the road and traveled into one of these sections, and you can go from, you can see how it's divided up into like a section, and you can like cross the road to go into that section. So normally it would be much quicker to say go like here, and then here, and then here, 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 here maybe. But The trick is that when you go off-road, you lose your stride value. You cannot go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You simply go off-road. You can go, say you are here in Wayland Point, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't know if you could make that move, but say this was your 4th movement. As long as you have one more movement point, you can then go off-road. I don't think you can cross these red barriers. Didn't discuss that, but they also recommend that you stay on the road for this story, just due to the difficulty of the off-road events. So that's what we will do. We'll stay on the road. All right. So play passes from the Arcanist to the Witch Hunter, and so this is our fancy first player token. We could use this one, which I actually kind of almost like this one better because the night side is much more obvious. You can see that the kind of shading that they did on this is nice, but it's not nearly as obvious as this. So we'll see if I get it confused, but this is a nice, like, super heavy metal coin here, but this is also representative of who the active player is. I'm controlling all 3, so I don't think it really matters that much, but probably the Witch Hunter may take damage based on the card. So let's go ahead and move the Witch Hunter 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've moved 5 spaces. We're on the road, so we need to have a road event. We flip this over and we look, we're on the day side, so we're gonna keep this up here and read. Vigilantes. A group of villagers were arguing on whether to burn the home of a medicine woman on suspicion of witchcraft. One character must convince them they need evidence first by passing a speech 6 test, which none of us are good at speaking. So let's just see what we got here. And that is a 10. So 0 on a d10 is a 10. So that was actually pretty good. So we passed. Success, gain 8 lore and a boon. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that's only the Witch Hunter that's gaining the lore. And we also, this bag technically was holding this, but I have put my boons into here so I don't see them when I draw one out randomly here. And so we've got boon, receive an extra attack. So I'm not 100% sure how the boons work, but we're going to give this to the Witch Hunter. He's going to hold on to it. And that is essentially it. I'm going to take this and put it back down at the bottom of the road event's card, or deck stack. And now it passes to the Archaeologist, who's now got to deal with the Knight. But the Archaeologist gets to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. It's almost as if they knew you'd get to Wayland Point. When you make it into town, you don't have to do a road event card because you're in the road, and when you leave the town, it's always during the day. All right, so we can do any of this stuff that we so choose. At the moment, I think all of them are available to us. Wayland's Point, however, you have to you can do 2 things per visit, so that's the trick. And all of these cost money. I do have 5 coins, so I could have my fortune read. I could get a blessing, make a donation. I could gamble. Ooh, I could gain a torch item token. I do like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Our Archaeologist is going to spend his coin, so he's down to 0, on a torch token. Nope, that's not it. That's flame. I know I saw him somewhere around here, somewhere. Here we go. Torch. Light source for 1 chapter, or thrown for D1 damage. So if we end up in a situation where we don't want to be in darkness, I can use the torch for the remainder of the chapter. But otherwise, I'm just going to hold on to that sucker. All right. And I don't think there is anything else on here. I could buy bandages, but everybody's got some. I don't have an infection. So yeah, I do like this handy dandy little card. Basically, everything's available at every place. Yeah, this is, that was fine. All right, so we need to continue. We pass this along, and the Arcanist gets to move 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it's during the day again. Just a day. Tinker. We passed a farm that was equipped with its own forge. The farmer, a former tinker, offered his services. The group may take advantage of the same services as the tinker in town, which if we come back over here and look to the backside, he is more expensive than we can handle. I don't know if you can pull your money together or not, but yeah. So, but that's fine. Nice, simple day event. And so this will now pass to the Witch Hunter. And now I believe we're going to end up dealing with a night event card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure if you count the bridge space as a space. Hold on. Bridges are considered a road space. Okay, so I need to be 1 space back. I need to be right there. Yeah, I can't tell if that's a line or not. So where was I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm in the same thing. I don't think that's a line for the road. All right. So, Witch Hunter, road event, nighttime. Possessed. We came upon a body lying across the road. Its lids abruptly opened, revealing jet black eyes. A skirmish with a possessed. Okay, the best I can figure is that possessed is a negative status effect that one of my people would be dealing with, and so if that was the case, I would actually have a character-to-character skirmish, but nobody is possessed, so I think we're okay. There's no actual monster card for the possessed. Possessed is a status effect. That's not clearly stated, so yeah. All right, the Archaeologist is going to try and get us into town. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so close. Yeah, pretty sure I'm taking the fastest way. Again, I got to stay on the road. All right. So, road event, daytime, the hunt. We spotted a group of deer close to the nearby wood. Time for a hunt. Each character may pass Ecology 5 to go on the hunt. Successful characters gain 1d4 Vita by filling their bellies with a good meal. Now, when you gain, you can go above your base Vita. Recover, you can only recover up to your base Vita. So, Ecology 5, nobody has Ecology right now. So, we're simply just all trying looking for a 5 or better. All right, so the Arcanist, Witch Hunter, so just the Arcanist here gets to roll a d4 worth of Vita. I cannot pick up this triangular d4. All right, and it's a 3. So she's going to, whoops. She is going to go up to 24. All right. And now, last but not least, the Arcanist technically would be moving at night, but we're going to make it into town. So, Eurotrust. We go back over here. Eurotrust, we could do 3 things. Again, we just did this. I don't think there's anything I want to purchase, so we'll pass on that. We'll keep that handy. Okay. And I believe now passes the Witch Hunter in daytime. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another day event. Manor. As we approached a nearby manor, the door opened and a pale woman and 2 men invited us in. They claimed to be vampires who wished to live in peace. The leader, who is the Witch Hunter, must pass a speech 6. Uh-oh, this isn't good. And he rolled a 1, okay. To gain their trust, earn 8 lore. Otherwise, they attack you for 2d4 Vita and flee into the night, infecting you with Bloodlust 5. Okay, so I'm going to have to look into that. So 2d4 Vita. And it's a 1 and a 2, so 3. So he's down to 18. And now he's got Bloodlust 5. So I am going to have to look that up, because I'm not quite ready for that. But I'm sure there's a status token in here somewhere for that. I'm going to keep this out over here just so we can finish up here. Alright, so Archaeologist now goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nighttime road event. Okay, good night. We found an abandoned campsite not far from the road. It looked to be an excellent place to rest. The group recovers 4 Vita, 4 ghost points, and 4 power points. Alright, so that's perfect. Recover now. I cannot go above my base, so really that's only helping the Witch Hunter, but I'll take it. Nobody's used any power points, but I do like that card. Now, as the daytime, the Arcanist is going to get us 1, 2, 3 into Ostelink. So now it's time to jump back to our storybook. And we have made it into Ostelink. Use town services. Only the physician and gypsy caravan services are available in town, in the town of Ostelink during this story. Okay, but what's interesting here is the gypsy caravan. Okay, can get rid of lycanthropy or transformed, breath of life, fortune, or what was the other one? Physician. Physician, I bet, is on the backside here. Bandage, bring out the dead, fractured, deranged, sickening, stitches, treat, and infection. So nothing that can get rid of bloodlust. So I'm still gonna have to look that up. I was hoping that maybe I could cure my bloodlust. Oh, I need the chapel. Purification, 30 lore. I don't have it anyway. So, all right, let's read on. In Ostelink, the streets are deserted, with the exception of an occasional town person hurrying home or a drunk vagabond asleep in the alley. The few villagers you see scurrying on their way pause only to regard you with cautious stares. You raise your arm and call out a friendly greeting, time and again with only quickly averted eyes as a response. It does not take much to sense that something is wrong. You catch sight of a street urchin eyeing you from a side alley. Unlike the rest, it seems her curiosity is winning over her caution. You wave her over and she hesitantly approaches. When you ask her about the town and why everyone seems afraid, she looks nervous and says, "Many people are worried because of the strange things that are happening. It is worse in our countryside, and a lot of the farm folk have come into town. The inn is completely sold out." You ask the girl what she knows about the wolves and the priest. For a moment she feigns ignorance, but after a bribe of food she tells you about the many recent wolf sightings. She warns that some have claimed that the wolves seem to change in the moonlight. With a full mouth, the urchin says she knows nothing of a visiting priest, but that you might be able to find out more answers at the inn. So now we have to choose our path. Choose your path tutorial. There will be times when the group will have to make a choice, such as right now. You will not know the consequences until after the choice has been made. Follow the instructions in the dialogue box and then continue the story. Okay, so will you give the urchin some spare change? Or... oh, okay. Alright. So, will you give the urchin some spare change? Choice 1. One character may give the street urchin a coin. If you have one, the character to do so must read Story Moments 25 on page 46. If you decide to be uncharitable, the leader must read Story Moments 70. Sure, why not? Let's have the Witch Hunter has a soft spot for the urchin, so he'll give up a coin, and we get to read Story Moment 25 on page 46. All right. As thanks, you toss a coin to the filthy child who catches it midair and makes the shiny disappear, quick as a blink. She turns to go, but then pauses to say, I know one more thing. The wolves like to hide in tall grass, ambushing their prey. Be careful. Gain the blue story marker, which I'm pretty sure is this one here. Alright, story markers are awards that can either cause a positive or negative event later in a story, but players will not know which is the case until it is revealed. Don't read ahead in the story. A story marker cannot be given to another character. Once the story is completed, all story markers are discarded. Okay, so that was the Arcanist. The Witch Hunter gave the gift. Okay, one character. Okay, yep. True to the urchin's words, the inn is bursting with people in heated conversation. Most of the patrons look to be farmers, with the occasional merchant in the crowd. The room goes quiet as you enter, and you sense that you are not welcome. The innkeeper speaks. What is your business here? You tell the crowd that you are looking for information specifically about the missing priest and strange wolves that have been giving the town trouble. The innkeeper growls, We don't know anything about a priest, and we can take care of a few wolves without any help from the likes of you. His words are fierce, but you notice several of the patrons look uncertain. Ignoring the others' uncertainty, he continues, We have no rooms here. You can have a drink, but afterwards, I suggest you move on. So, story skill check, that's a tongue twister, of Trickery 7. Nobody has it, so we're just trying to roll a normal 7, and we rolled a 4, so we failed. As you stick around attempting to gather any information from the crowd, it is apparent that not everyone is happy with you being there. A bottle flies through the air right at you. The bottle strikes you in the head. That hurt. Lose 2 Vita. So I'm pretty sure our Arcanist is still the active character in town, so she loses the 2 Vita. Choose your path. The assault by the crowd has upset you. You are gaining confidence having made the first... They are gaining confidence having made the first move. You are now getting ready for a good old-fashioned bar fight. If you decide to calm down the crowd to prevent somebody from getting hurt, read Story Moment 37. If you decide to teach these peasants a lesson for being uncooperative, yeah, I don't deal well with having things thrown in my head, so we're going to read Story Moment 58. You don't have time to waste on these farmers, but a fight is inevitable, so you decide to take the first shot. Bar fight! Skirmish with an angry mob and apply a -1 to the skirmish counter. Minimum 1 on the counter. Alright, so an angry mob fight it is. That's fine. Alright, where was my angry mob card? I know it wasn't too far away. Here we go. Alright, so we need to go to the skirmish side. We need to get all our dice out here. And we are rolling again a d6. But remember, it's -1, whatever this is. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I need one of my little counters back. So they have +1 damage, -5 might. Alright. I need to get my cards out and my tokens out now. Alright, these guys are very similar to the Highwaymen. So I'm going to have my... Let's see here. Deal an additional 1 for hit with a whip type weapon. See this, like, usable reroll a missed ranged attack or recover. Okay. I gotta spend a PowerPoint to do that. Okay. Gain 5 + 5 might with ranged weapons during the first round of combat, usable during skirmish. Alright, so the Witch Hunter is going to defend. The Arcanist is going to attack. And the Archaeologist here is going to attack. Now, let me just double check and make sure I know what Bloodlust is. Okay, so we're learning something new every day here. It turns out I should have, the Bloodlust 6 means I should have rolled a faith check, skill check, to see if I got Bloodlust or not. Bloodlust actually is kind of handy because it gives you additional bonus, and if you die, you become a vampire instead of a ghost. So I don't even know if I want to try and roll for this, but he does have a +1 faith, so I need a 5 or better on my skill check here, and it's 3, so I do have Bloodlust. Yeah. So we are going to go ahead, and we've already established that we are attacking or defending. We've got this set up, so let's go ahead and roll for the Angry Mob. And they only... No, they hit on an 82, so definitely hit all of us. Let's see here. Lose 1 d4 Vita. If the now they have -5 might, which takes them down to 77, luckily, because if the mob's total attack roll is 80 plus, increase the skirmish counter up to the maximum number for the number of characters, which would be 6 for us. But luckily, the -5 might of the modifier drops it down. So now we just each have to take 1 d4, but they do have +1 damage. So this is going to be 4, 5 to the Arcanist. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's down to 17. 3 to the Witch Hunter. Oh no, he had plus. Yeah, it didn't even matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's down to 16. And the Archaeologist is just 2. So boom, boom. He's at 21. He's doing pretty good. All right. So now it's our turn. Attacking. Nothing the Arcanist has can be used during a skirmish. So I think she's just rolling to try and beat 42. And she got a 73. So that's a hit. I don't think we moved this quite yet, so we'll just remember. I don't think we'll forget. The Witch Hunter is -10, so what's this number? It's a 98. That's an 88. That's still hitting. So 1, 2, and now we just need the Archaeologist to roll 42 or better, and he rolls a 51. So luckily we did attack for him. Yeah, and we are all set. So that's going to go boom, boom, boom. These guys are done. Each of us receives 6 coins, and that's that. So 10, 6, and 11. All right. Put that Angry Mob in their place. They got a couple shots in. That's okay. Let's come back to our story now. Where were we here? Okay. So we chose our path. The tension leaves as quickly as it escalated. These villagers are scared. It explains their short fuse. But what is more surprising is how defeated they seem once they've calmed down. It is as if they believe no amount of fighting will help. After peace is restored, a farmer approaches you nervously and says, "Your priest passed through my land, inquiring about the way to Nurian's Hollow." I told him of a shortcut I know. A day later, crazed wolves came down out of those hills, devouring my livestock and attacking my family. We ran here to Osterling to find help, but everyone's too scared to leave town. If you agree to destroy those wolves, I will tell you of the shortcut. Okay, so Nurian's Hollow is just up here at the top of the board, and of course we will. So choose your path. Below will lead your group down alternate story paths. One will lead directly to an encounter, while the other will have other consequences. To ensure you do not miss any of the tutorial instructions, they will be listed here. When you enter a map, characters enter adventuring mode and leadership changes to the next character. The first thing to do is set up the map by placing the map shown, then place all objectives such as search, markers, skill dice, and doors. Next, place all creatures on the map if applicable. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Encounter combat. Okay. So yeah, all this is pretty straightforward. Choose your path. You decide that you cannot spare the time to help him with his woes. Read story moments 78, or you decide to help the farmer with his troubles. I feel like helping him with his troubles is helping us go in the right direction. So let's read story moment 46 here on page 48. And you realize how much courage that it took for this man to approach and ask for help. He was obviously nervous, but overcome his fear, it shouldn't take too much time to deal with a few wolves, and the farmer promised to tell you a shortcut which will hopefully make up for the time lost. Skip to the farm choice 2 on page 6. So we choice 1, the farm choice 2. The farmer leads you out of town and points you in the direction of his fields. There is my land. I ask that you kindly destroy those wolves. It is dusk when you reach the farm. The moon hides itself behind a thick layer of clouds, but the stars are bright, allowing you to see well enough. The quiet atmosphere changes as you hear soft growls. Rabid wolves emerge from their hiding places among the tall grass, sniffing the air, their eyes almost seeming to glow. Defeat the rabid wolves. See the encounter dialogue box. Don't forget to search the bodies for loot. Okay. Got it. Each character rolls a d10. Those getting a 10 plus. Find an item. Okay. After the combat, immediately read after the fight. Optional goals. Investigate all search locations available only during combat. So I guess that's basically... Oh, just this location here. Okay. Investigate the Scarecrow map feature. Only available during combat. This is a map-based skill check. Pick up the red die from the board and roll it as a result. Okay. Start zone. Here we go. Encounter 3 rabid wolves. Their locations are shown on the map. A character with the blue story marker gains +5 might for this combat due to the urchin's warning. I like it. So the witch hunter is getting +5 might. Okay, so we need to set up this map here and get to an actual encounter. All right, we are all set up for our encounter here. There needs to be a red die right there. I did just went ahead and rolled for first strike, and the characters won, so the characters are going to get to go first. You essentially just roll a d10 for each group. The characters get 1 roll, and then the like the wolves would get 1 roll if you had multiple character groupings. I believe they get an additional roll, or maybe it's just foes versus characters. Not 100% sure, but we only have 1 foe group right now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our Arcanist here, who I believe is still our first player. And before we get started, during combat, since she is the Seeker, she can choose to whether she wants to do her light aura or her dark aura. Her light aura essentially at this point gives her protection to herself and people who are adjacent to her. I'm going to go with the dark aura though. This causes 1 damage to all foes that move into the aura on their turn. So she is gonna kind of I don't necessarily want her to be the tank, but if someone comes up to her, if one of these wolves comes up to her, at least they're doing a little damage. So we're just gonna have her go 1, 2, 3, not too super close, not her full. Actually, no. Let's go ahead and move her 4. We'll send her over here to get the Scarecrow. Now, instead of attacking, I'm going to use her ritual here, which is bend the mind of others to your will. Choose 1 non-affliction target and roll a d10. All right, so we're going to take one of these. We're looking for a 6+, and we got a 10. So I am going to choose this wolf here. This one is under my control. I don't think that there are any tokens that would say, hey, this guy is under your control, but we'll just throw this under him. That will help us remember that that's the wolf that is under our control. So now that wolf, when it comes time, all the other wolves are going to get to act, and then we can control the wolf up to our up to its movement and attack. So we're going to see how that looks here now in just a minute, because the rest of our characters get to go here. Okay, so the witch hunter gets to go next. He is getting +5 might because of his blue story token earlier in the game. and he gets it for the entire combat, which is nice. I could use my boon at any point to receive an extra attack, but for now we're just simply going to actually stay put, because he's got a ranged weapon. He's got the crossbow with 3 ammo on it, and so he can essentially aim anywhere on this board as long as he can see it. So the only thing he can't see, I'm pretty sure, is this wolf, because it's behind the fence. Anything that would block movement is an obstacle for line of sight. Otherwise, if someone was standing, say, way over here, and you can connect a corner to a corner, then he's good. So we are going to target this one here, because this one we want to actually do our bidding for a little while. So I'm going to target this wolf here with my crossbow. So at this point, I need to go ahead and roll my 2 d10s here. We'll keep them both black for now. That was good luck earlier. All right. And we did not roll well at all. We rolled a 2, which is a huge miss. But I may spend a power. So I have my tracker ability for the Witch Hunter. You have superior skill at routing your enemies. Reroll a missed ranged attack or recover 1 ammo usable during a skirmish. Well, it's not a skirmish, but I can use it now. So I tick down my power points here from 5 to 4, and I can reroll these dice. All right, much better. We got an 82 this time. So that plus our 5 here, I could even spend another power point to get an additional 5 if I needed it, but I don't. The wolves are looking at a defense of 41, so I've very much beaten out the wolves. So this guy is going to take a d4 plus 1, plus then my damage bonus of 2, so plus 3 on a d4. And that's a 1, unfortunately. All right. So that's 1 plus 3 is 4 damage to this wolf. And we've got some trackers set over here. This one in the middle is going to be this one. So this guy's ticking down to 13. Okay. Now, next time around, the crossbow has focus 1. I've also used an ammunition, so I need to tick that down. I can technically only use the crossbow 3 times unless I use this ability to recover 1 ammo. But I have focus 1, so if I focus on this guy again, I actually get an additional might, I believe it was, to my bonus. So it's not much, but it's at least something. So, all right. Last to go is the Archaeologist. He has a range of 2 on his whip, which means he can be, it's kind of like having reach with some weapons. So since this guy's under control, he's simply going to go 1, 2, and stop right there. Yeah, I think we're going to focus on this wolf for a second. We'll leave this. I don't know whether I should be running up there and be all alone with this guy. Okay. So these 2 guys are now going to have a go. And so our Archaeologist is going to roll. And he is looking for his 42. He just has a bonus of 3. No other bonuses this round. That was a 5 and it ticked back over. All right, so it's technically a 20 with his might bonus, but that's not going to do it. So the Archaeologist has missed. Okay, so now it is the rabid wolves' turn. These 2 are going to go first, so I don't think it matters. They're simply going to approach the closest one. If it's ranged, then we're rolling additional die to determine who they're attacking. But in this instance, they need to get adjacent to someone. So they're going to go their stride value, which is 5. So this guy is going to turn and just be right here. Boom. And then we look at their special power, which is if vicious bite attack has power dive 0. So we don't have to worry about that unless they do this bottom action here. So what happens now is they are going to roll their power die, and we're going to use the white one in this instance so we can show things off better. All right, so they rolled a 46, which for the Archaeologist, he has a defense of 36, so he is breaking the Archaeologist's defense. Now, what we do, so he is getting an attack in. Now we look to his powers over here, and we see that 6, we look at this number, and so he's going to go after the Archaeologist's hamstring. The wolf's jaws rip at your hamstring, lose 1d4 plus 1 vita, and become immobilized. But there's a reason why I marched the Archaeologist up here, because the Archaeologist's special ability is that he cannot become immobilized. So, I don't even have to test for that. What I do need is a d4 here. Yeah. And it's just a 1. So 1 plus 1, 2 points of damage to our Archaeologist. So he's down to 19. Okay. Then this guy gets to go. He has to get adjacent to someone, so the closest person would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can make it also to the Archaeologist. All right, and he's going to do the same thing. We'll roll these two, and it's a 51, which is also getting the job done. So again, we look to the 1, then we look here. 1 through 4 is a takedown. The wolf leaps at you and swings its clawed paw. Lose 3 vita, so there's no rolling of a d4. It's just 3 straight vita. And get pushed 1. And so I'm not sure if you're really supposed to be pushing diagonally, but since he's on the diagonal, we're going to push the Archaeologist back on a diagonal. This Witch Hunter's cape is just a little too much in the way. All right. And so last, then we get to control this one. He still is using these actions, but we get to control his movement and who he's attacking. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to move him right over here, and he's going to attack his brethren, the White Wolf, here. And we'll just go ahead and roll. Oh yeah, he's got to roll both. He's got to beat a 41, and he gets a 57, which is good. So he's also doing hamstring. The wolf's jaws rip at your hamstring, lose 1 d4 vita. So we're going to roll a d4 in. It's a 2 plus 1 is 3. So that top one was this one here. 1, 2, 3. And that wolf is immobilized. I don't think that foes worry about skill checks. I think he's just immobilized. So, yeah, I don't have any tokens or anything to put on him. I will just have to remember that he's immobilized. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So now it's back to us. So the Arcanist is still doing her thing. I can only occult 9. Choose. Now see, did I need to test occult 9 before I even did that? And then be able to roll on a d10? So I may have cheated. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to stick with it. So she's going to go 1, 2, get adjacent to this scarecrow, and this, I guess we'll even put her there in the same spot as this. Now, we need to pass an Ecology 5 test. She doesn't have any bonuses in Ecology, so we will roll this, and it's a 1, so she failed. Failure says you cannot manage to get the scarecrow back in its post. It falls atop you during your attempt to lose 1 d4 vita. Awesome. All right, so just 1 point. So she's down to 16 as well. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't know if the red die would stay there or not. I guess this stays laying down for right now, but that was an optional goal, so we're just going to stick with it. Okay, and so she's essentially done now. Yeah, all right. So we are going to have the Witch Hunter, again, attack this guy, so he gets focus 1. He's got 5 here and 4 here, so that's essentially a plus 10. yeah, to this guy. So plus 10, we are going to roll our attack die here, and it is just a 17. Okay, so I can spend another power to re-roll. I think I will do that. I would love to get my ammo back, but oh man. Okay. Two-handed weapon, focus 1. Yep, I think we're gonna have to do it. We gotta start knocking these guys down. So we're gonna re-roll this, and we got a 98 blistering. So we successfully hit this guy. So we get to roll a d10 again. So 2 plus our 2 is 4. So that was the middle one. So he's down to 9. All right. And I think the Archaeologist is going to continue to be the tank here because he cannot be immobilized. So he's going to step up. We're going to try and get rid of this guy now. I've got this guy under control for 2 more turns. So the Archaeologist is going to make another attempt here. Oh no, frickin' 6. And he doesn't have anything to reroll his stuff here. I could use my torch. I could use it to be thrown for 1d4 damage and then discard, but I kind of like having the torch. So we're going to hold on to it. Again, yeah, he's just whiffing big time here. All right, so nothing for the Archaeologist again. All right, back to the rabid wolves. We'll start with this guy again. He will, of course, attack the Archaeologist who's right in front of him. And we'll use these again. All right, 15. So he misses. So good. Then we come over here. This wolf is still adjacent to the Archaeologist. He is a 33. He gets -5 might. I failed to look at that earlier, but I don't think it matters. So that definitely puts him below a defense of 36. So he misses as well. So perfect. And then last but not least, this guy gets to go. He is attacking for a 66, which is going to hit this guy. He's doing the hamstring. He's becoming immobilized. So I wonder if I have just stood myself right here, if this guy would have just been stuck. But he missed anyway, so we'll stick with it. All right, D4. 2 plus 1 is 3 more to this top guy, so he's down to 11. All right, and it's back to the Arcanist here, she's kind of done, but we're going to be sending her around to do all the actioning. So she gets to move 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I should get some shots in. So 1, 2, 3. I can stop my movement to attack. So I'm going to attack this thing that I have control over because eventually it's going to come out of my control. But it's just going to sit there and take it. I get +4 might, +3, so +7 total. That's a 60, I believe. Yeah, 60 overall. And so that's enough to hit. So we're rolling a d4 now with our stiletto. And that's a 4. So boom, +2 damage, 6 to this guy here who hasn't taken any damage thus far. So he's down to 11. Then she's going to continue. She's got 1 more point of movement there. All right, so she's good. The Witch Hunter is going to use his final ammo, to make a ranged attack here. And he rolled a 34 plus 10 is a 44, which is enough to beat their defense. So I'm going to use a power point now to get an ammo back using my tracker ability. I didn't need that. I could go ahead and use my boon. Receive an extra attack. Do I have to roll for it or not? Oh gosh. I'm going to trust that the Archaeologist can actually make an attack now, but maybe not. Maybe I should go ahead and use it. So this is going to be a d4 plus 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. to this guy, so he's down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, let's go ahead and use our boon. Get to make an extra attack here. So I guess I have to use up my ammo again. And we rolled a 37 plus 10 is a 47. That's beating his defense. So we get to roll a d4, and then it's 3 plus 3 is enough to take out this wolf. Has been defeated. All right, very good. So now the archaeologist here, I'm thinking this guy should be immobilized. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to come around here and we're going to focus on this guy again, who's just going to sit there and take it because he's under the Arcanist's control. And if we miss, I won't feel as bad here. And finally, we rolled a 90. Yeah, a 90 even. So we are going to do this. I get exhaust to make the target immobilized. I'm okay with that. He doesn't need to be immobilized right now. So, plus I want my whip. So actually I could have been standing like right here this whole time. Yeah. Okay. All right, so this is a D4. I'm going to use my Explore capability, which allows me to do an additional D4 damage. So he'll use his first power point. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 of these at the same time. We got a 1 and a 1. Awesome. 2 stellar rolls here. Archaeologist needs to pick up his game. He's got a damage bonus of 1, so 3 more to this guy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He's down to 8. All right, then we are going back to the rabid wolf. He is immobilized, so we're going to say he does nothing because he cannot get adjacent. Then this guy gets to attack his buddy. This is the third and final turn I get to do this. So let's roll these, and this is a 45, which is going to do it. Yeah, what I'm not sure is, does this rabid wolf have to deal with the -5 dusk might penalty or not? I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to say he hit. And I need to tip this guy over because I need to explore the bodies. Search the bodies for loot. Or maybe I do that at the end. I think I do that at the end. Okay, so he's hitting him for 3. So this top guy goes down to 8. All right, so they're both at 8. And then that's it. Back to the Arcanist here. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3. She is adjacent to this search token here. And she will now search. So she rolls a d10, and we're looking for an 8 or better. Ooh, that's not good. And that's a 6. So nothing happens on a 6, but I passed that objective. That was an optional objective. Okay. And so yeah, she's done again. That was 1. She was here, so she went 1, 2. She can come back 3, 4. Finish up her stride movement. All right. Then the witch hunter is going to run up here. Is he? He's got a stride of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're gonna focus on this gray one here. Or no, let's just get up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll go after this guy. 51 is definitely going to do it. So we are looking at a D4 plus 2 is 4 to this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the Archaeologist is going to go right here. I guess technically maybe he has to go right there. I'm not sure. But he's got it. Let's see if he can hit and take this guy out. Alright, 70 is going to do it. So, let's see here. We need a 4. 2 is not going to do it, so he's going to use a PowerPoint on a successful hit to roll another d4. So we need at least a 1. Yep, alright. So this guy is now done. Okay, whoops. Alright, only guy left is this one. He is no longer under our control. So we'll take that away, and he will target the closest person, which will be this guy. The Witch Hunter is right in front of him, so he's going to attack the Witch Hunter. For a 76, minus 5 is definitely getting the job done. Okay, so he does the hamstring. He's going to immobilize 5. He loses 1 d4 plus 1 vita, so 4, 5. Ooh, to the Witch Hunter. That kind of hurts. And then the has to pass a trickery 5 to see whether he's immobilized or not, and he's not because he passed the skill test, so he's not immobilized, which is helpful. And you know what I'm just realizing is that the Witch Hunter the whole time has had Bloodlust. So he's been hitting for like +2 damage this whole time and could have easily taken out some of these guys earlier, but that's fine. All right, back to our Arcanist, who's going to come in here to finish things off. 1, 2. She can use flank now, which is going to give her an additional +4 on her attack. Yeah, maybe I couldn't get the +4 unless she had flank 1. She does. This guy's flanking. So let's roll out our dice here, and it is a 68, which is enough. So we roll a d4, and it is taking just 1 plus her 2 is 3, so it's down to 5. And then the Witch Hunter does not need to use ammo. He doesn't get his focus bonus or anything like that. So he will simply roll with his hands, and he only gets a 29, plus 10 is a 39. Oh, he cannot use in the scope, so he's just going to miss. Nothing we can do there. And then the Archaeologist is going to try and finish things off, and he is also going to miss. Goodness, with a 15. Alright, so this wolf is going to get another attack on the Witch Hunter. And he rolls a whopping 4, so he misses. Alright, back to the Arcanist here, see if she can finish this guy off. She does. She rolls a 70. Okay, we need a 3 or better right here. And we got it. Alright, so that takes this guy out. We can now loot the bodies. Each character rolls a d10, and those getting 10 plus find an item. Okay. Alright. Says to check this card, but I don't see it. But I think we're going to do this. So Arcanist here gets a 1. That's not it. Witch Hunter, nope. And nope. Okay, so nobody found anything. But we have finished with the encounter. Let's read our closing text here. After the fight, after the wolves are dealt with, the farmer tells you beyond is a path that will take you to an old burial ground. The mausoleum there houses a long-forgotten entrance into the caves of Nurian's Hollow. That is where the priest went. He agrees to show you his shortcut and offers to join you. The leader gains the farmer companion. Then there's a little tutorial here about companions, and then we continue on to Into the Hollow, which is another encounter. So at this point, we are going to, we're going to have to break this down and set up another map. So let's get working on that. Okay, so here we are on our final basically task for chapter 1 of this story, and we're basically attempting to get up here to this red skill check die, complete a trickery 7 skill check, and then we open the door and we enter in and we move into chapter 2. And that's where we'll stop the video. There is a little bit of text here we're supposed to read. Your skin crawls as you feel tension stirring the air. The dead are restless today. At the end of every round on this map, the leader must roll a d10. On 1 through 3, we encounter 3 decaying dead, which I've gone ahead and already gotten the card out. 4 through 0, nothing happens. Characters also have -1 stride on this map. So basically, we can just beeline up here, or we can take a look here, and I think that's what we're going to do. Our leader is the witch hunter here, so we'll just kind of keep that there. And so the witch hunter is, I guess, going to go first. He has normally a stride of 4. In this instance, he only has a stride of 3. So I don't know why I started him in the back, but we'll just go 1, 2, 3, and then there's not really much else he can do. I want to have the archaeologist attempt these 2 skill checks because he has the keywords, the bonus keywords to do better at those skills. And my Arcanist here does not decide this yet until her combat starts. And we're not in combat yet. Right now we are just adventuring. And it says at the end of every round. So that means all 3 of my characters go, then I roll a d10 to determine if the decaying dead come out. So let's do the Archaeologist next. He is going to go 1, and he can pause his movement to go ahead and attempt this skill check here. So he has to pass an awareness 6, and he has a bonus of +1. So we need to roll a 5 or better on this die, and we did not. We rolled a 3. So we have a little story text here for failure we need to read. Story moment 12. And this says, you lose your footing and fall into the open grave, impaling yourself on a shovel. Lose 2 vita. Awesome. Okay. So he's down to 14. Lose 2 vita, and then read story moment 34. On the next page. Inside you see a half desiccated corpse whose stomach has been removed and viciously chewed open. There's a glint of something within the gore. You reach inside, trying not to vomit in disgust. Your hand touches something round and hard. Pulling it carefully out, you discover a pearl ring. Through dry blood, you can see a delicate scrollwork pattern with a detailed filigree. You feel a compulsion to put it on your finger. You cannot resist. Gain the red story marker. Okay, and so just scrolling back here to where we were, I'm trying to see, that's what would have happened if you had read the success. So essentially we get the, where's my red story marker? Oh, here we go, it's in here somewhere. Okay, so the archaeologist now has the red. I believe the witch hunter still has the blue. He lost his 2 vita. We've got the red story marker. Hopefully that'll help us down the road. And now he can continue 1, 2, heading up this way. All right, last but not least, our Arcanist can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else to do other than move our max movement. Now we're going to roll a d10 to see if the dead come out. And that's a 0, that's a 10, so we are safe. Back to the witch hunter here. So let's have the witch hunter go 1, 2. He will examine this, and we need an 8 or higher to find something, and that's all right. So we did find something, so we get to claim a 9. We have garlic, gain +10 defense against vampires or necratu for 1 combat. Okay, that's a consumable. We'll give that to the witch hunter, and then he will get 1 more movement towards the exit zone, which is, I'm assuming, the door. All right, then the archaeologist will go 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, he's 1 spot away, and there's no way that I have found that you can, like take a, take anything to take one more step, take a fatigue or anything like that in descent. So he's unfortunately just going to kind of be stuck there. The Arcanist is now going to go 1, 2, 3. She's now adjacent to this one. So we can roll, and a 1 is not going to do it. A 1 is actually going to lose a D4 snare damage. She found a trap. So she found a 4 trap. So she's going to go down to 12. All right. And now we need to roll for the Decaying Dead. We just don't want, we want a 4 or higher. And we got a 6. Okay. So the Witch Hunter now can go 1, 2, and just be ready to go. And the Archaeologist is going to go right here. And he needs to attempt to pass his, let's see, should we go ahead and any character during their turn can pass the Trickery 7 test. So what I'm actually going to do is move the Witch Hunter here. The worst case here is he's lose 2 Vita. So we need to get a 7 or better. I'm just going to try and knock it out. All right, so he fails. 1, 2. He's down to 9. All right, but our Archaeologist here, he's getting a +1 bonus, so a 6 or better. And that's just a 5. Okay, and he doesn't have anything. And so let's just try. Everybody's going to line up here. And 6, she does not have a trickery bonus either. So everybody just took a hit trying to open the door. All right, so we need to roll for, nope, Decaying Dead do not come out. All right, Witch Hunter again, nope, he's down to 7. I might need to rest here. All right, Archaeologist, 6 or better, come on, freaking 2. And Cultist, all right, I don't know, the Arcanist finally does it. So we get to read our story text here after everybody cut themselves attempting to unlock the door, remove it from the map. And is that it? You were able to unlock the door, remove it from the map. Yeah. Our goal was to move characters to the exit zone and complete the map skill check number 2 in order to complete the story. We're going on to chapter 2, see attention dialogue box. We did that. Okay, so I guess we have simply completed skill check number 2. There is no, you can see there is no exit zone highlighted on the map. So I'm assuming I'm in it. And we are just going to pause there. And end scene. So just some quick thoughts, because I know that this video has gone on long enough. I'm really enjoying all of the the variety in the gameplay, the lots of story text and quick skill checks and decision making, things like that. Also adventuring, where it's not necessarily combat every time, skirmishes versus encounters. I do like the variety. It will be interesting to see if I can acquire some items down the road that can help me mitigate dice rolls more, because other than that, it's basically just roll those 2 d10s and do you hit or not, and then roll a d4. It's not quite as exciting as I was hoping for. And also, like for example here, where I'm basically just rolling a d10 3 times in a row, hoping to get a 7 or better until finally somebody does it. There's no way for me to reduce that number based on the number of attempts or anything like that. So that one was kind of a bust. I'm basically just sitting here taking hits because of random dice rolls. So I plan on continuing and playing through the story journal number 1 here to see how things fall out, and this may be a game I want to expand further on. What I want to know is beyond the, you know, our initial playthrough here as part of the 13 games of Halloween, are you interested in seeing a campaign like this on camera? If so, I will continue to record it and post it to the channel. If not, then I'll just continue to play this on my own, and then can always come back and give you guys my final review after I've played through the entire story journal. So please let me know in the comment section below if this is something you are interested in seeing more of. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, including the remainder of our 13 games of Halloween, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.